just wanting to share a little deer story with you, and point of perseverance in deer season. A lot of people get all anxious and really amped up when the first season starts, which I do too, and that's why we do it. But you know, as the time wears on and we don't get our big buck, you know, people start getting discouraged. This is a story of why not to get discouraged. I was hunting in 2010 on a piece of public ground. I ran into a 14-point buck, massive, huge deer, well over 200 inches. One of the biggest ones I've ever seen in my life on the hook. I could not close the deal on him. He came within 70 yards, turned, went in another direction. I hunted that deer for 28 days. Saw him twice, or once in that time with two does about 200 yards away. Never could get a shot on him. The 28th day, it was 20 below zero with 30-mile-an-hour north wind. I went anyway. I grabbed up my muzzleloader and I went out. Got on this big ridge, and the wind was just brutal. It was just freezing me to the bone. So I dropped over the backside to get out of that wind, and it dawned on me, you know, I bet the deer are doing the same thing. So I'm sitting on this big steep hillside. There's a little shelf on that hillside, and then it drops on off down into the ravine. I look up the ridge about 200 yards, and I see this doe come over the hill. And she's coming right down. She gets on that bench. She's going to come right down in front of me, which is great. I was sitting on the ground next to a big oak tree, freezing to death. It's like, I'm going to nail this doe, snatch it up, and get out of here and go get warm. She got within about 100 yards and was closing pretty quick, and I just looked up behind her on that hill, and this guy was standing there. At first, I thought it was the 14-pointer, and then he turned his head, and I was like, he ain't big enough to be the 14-pointer, but he's a dang good buck, you know. So I went ahead and let him, he just trailed right in behind that doe. That doe went on past me. He came right down, gave me a 75-yard shot. I shot him, and he stood there and took that. Thought I'd missed. Get my muzzleloader, reloaded, pull up, look through the scope, and I see blood trickling out behind his shoulder, and he just started hunching up. Well, I was already cocked and ready, so I let him have another one, which I should have never did, because he dove off in that big-ass ravine and went about 300 feet straight down in that thing. Took me 6.5 hours to get him up out of there because we were on state ground. You can't use motorized vehicles on state ground in Indiana. So it took me and my buddy about 6 hours to get him up out of there. He's 16 points. He's got a lot of abnormal stuff going on, as you can tell, with his hook over here. These two inside points off of his G4. It's just insane. And it was a better buck than I could have hoped for on that day like that. But the moral of the story is, you know, 28 days, you know, I gave it everything I had, and I came out a winner, you know. So don't get discouraged in your first week or so of hunting, guys. Just keep after it, you know, and give it everything you got, and you'll be rewarded, I think. And, you know, use the wind and just common sense and stuff, you know. If you don't like that cold wind on you, chances are them deer don't either. So, you know, give it a shot. Maybe some of this will help you out in this year when you start getting a little discouraged first, second week season. So good luck to y'all. Happy hunting, and we'll catch you later.